Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into what's honestly one of the most fascinating economic mysteries of our time. We're going to investigate this massive artificial intelligence spending spree that's happening right now, and we've got to ask the trillion-dollar question. Are we witnessing the greatest technological bet in human history, or are we just inflating a massive, unprecedented bubble? The data we're looking at today tells a pretty incredible story of staggering wealth, panic, and some really eerie historical parallels.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit the AI spending spree, the missing revenue, the capital cycle, that wild 2000 telecom mirror, compare AI to the Dotcom era, and finally look at what happens next.
Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1, the AI spending spree. Think back to June 25, 2026. Apple did something they practically never do. Right in the middle of the year, without launching any new products, they just suddenly raised prices. The MacBook Air went up 18%, the iPad Pro 20%, and the Apple TV a whopping 54%. You might be wondering why. Well, Apple released this remarkable statement saying, "We have never seen a component price increase this much, this quickly." It turns out, the reason your everyday electronics suddenly got way more expensive is because of this brutal, kind of invisible war being fought over extremely expensive AI memory chips.
And you know, this invisible war trickles directly down to your wallet. You've got companies like Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron who control about 90% of the world's memory chip supply. They quickly realized that selling specialized high-bandwidth memory to AI data centers pays literally 10 times more than selling standard memory for our consumer laptops. So naturally, following the rules of capitalism, they shifted 93% of their production to AI data centers. The result? DRAM prices absolutely skyrocketed, up 171% year over year. The cost of just 1 gigabyte of DRAM jumped from 43 cents to $2.39 in 6 months. We are all essentially paying an AI tax.
If you zoom out, the sheer scale of this spending explosion is terrifying. Take Amazon, Meta, Google, and Microsoft. In 2020, before ChatGPT even existed, they spent a combined $90 billion. Fast forward to 2026, that number has exploded to $725 billion. That is an 8-fold increase in capital expenditure over just 6 years. And it's all driven by this mind-bending projection. By 2026, the world is expected to generate 221 zettabytes of data. To put that into perspective, we are producing more data in a single month than we did in all of human history leading up to 2010. Insane, right?
Which brings us to part 2, the missing revenue.
A staggering 94%. According to a report by PIMCO, big tech is going to consume 94% of their operating cash flows just to build AI infrastructure over the next 2 years. Let that sink in. If these giants earn $100, $94 goes right back into building these giant, windowless data centers, which, by the way, cost between $10 to $25 billion each to build and power. That leaves only 6% for things like dividends, salary hikes, buybacks, or any other innovations. They are betting the house on the assumption that our need for AI compute will eventually make this spending look like a massive bargain.
So the crucial point is the giant math problem we're facing, pointed out by JP Morgan. For investors to get a bare minimum 10% return on their investment, the AI industry needs to bring in roughly $650 billion every single year. But when you add up the actual revenues of OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, and the rest, the industry is only earning about $75 billion right now. That leaves a jaw-dropping $600 billion annual revenue deficit. Tech giants are quite literally spending 9 to 10 times more on AI than the entire industry currently earns.
Now, the main argument for all the spending was that massive enterprises would just endlessly pay for AI to become more efficient. But actually, they're pushing back. McKinsey found that 73% of enterprise AI deployments are totally failing to hit the projected ROI. Uber even came out and admitted they blew through their entire annual AI budget in just 4 months. Even nimble startups are balking. A San Francisco startup named Lindy switched all their traffic over to DeepSeek just to cut their costs by 90%. You even have Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir, saying that enterprises feel like they're paying for tokens that create no real value. He called it a wealth tax for models that have been irresponsibly oversold.
Let's look at part 3, the capital cycle. There's this brilliantly simple economic framework that explains practically every industrial bubble in modern history. It's called the capital cycle, and it's got 4 very predictable steps. Step 1, a shiny new technology promises sky-high returns, which naturally attracts massive capital. Step 2, capital keeps blindly flowing in until a massive overcapacity is built. Step 3, Because there's way too much capacity and nowhere near enough immediate demand to pay for it all, returns plummet, and you get a collapse. But then, step 4. The original companies might die off, but a few lucky survivors eventually make a fortune by buying up that infrastructure for pennies on the dollar when consumer demand finally catches up.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Part 4, the 2000 telecom mirror. Rewind with me back to 1996, when the US passed the Telecommunications Act. Just like AI today, the internet was this undeniable, life-changing technology. Investors falsely believed that internet data traffic would just double every 3 months forever. So what did telecom companies do? They poured more than $500 billion into laying fiber optic cables across the country. Startups with zero revenue were going public with multi-billion-dollar valuations. But internet traffic didn't explode by 1,000% a year like they predicted. It only doubled. The revenue just wasn't there to justify the immense cost, which led to a catastrophic $2 trillion market wipeout.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how insane that overcapacity phase was. By the early 2000s, get this, only 2.7% of the installed fiber optic cable was actually carrying data. Over 95% of that $500 billion investment was just sitting unused underground. Because of this ridiculous oversupply, bandwidth prices collapsed by up to 90%, and the absolute darling companies of the era, like Global Crossing and Corvus, went completely bankrupt.
But hey, remember step 4 of the capital cycle? The technology itself wasn't a scam. The internet really did change the world. What happened was that all those unused fiber optic cables stayed buried in the ground. Years later, when YouTube, streaming, and cloud storage finally arrived, the world actually needed that bandwidth. The corporate survivors swooped in and bought the wreckage for dirt cheap. That seemingly wasted cable became the physical backbone of the modern internet. It made giants like Google, Netflix, and AWS possible. The tech survived, even if the pioneers who built it got wiped out.
On to Part 5, AI versus Dotcom.
Now, to analyze this fairly, we have to look at the balance sheets. In the 2000s, those telecom companies were funded entirely by debt. They literally had zero revenue in some cases. So when the music stopped, they vanished into bankruptcy. But this 2026 AI boom, it's fundamentally different. NVIDIA earned $120 billion in net income in a single year. And the companies dropping this $725 billion, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, they are the most profitable, cash-rich enterprises in human history. We are not talking about weak, debt-fueled startups here.
We also have to do a quick valuation check. At the peak of the dot-com bubble back in 1999, the NASDAQ 100 forward price-to-earnings ratio was an astronomical 60x. Today, it sits around 26x. So yes, we are for sure seeing some wild volatility, like NVIDIA losing $320 billion in market cap in just 1 week, or OpenAI delaying its IPO. But looking strictly at the math, while valuations are definitely high, they are nowhere near the pure, unadulterated financial insanity we saw in 1999.
Finally, Part 6. What happens next? Based on all this, economists basically see 2 highly divergent paths forward for this trillion-dollar sprint. Path 1. The bubble pops. That $600 billion revenue deficit just proves too large. Big tech slams the brakes on spending, the NASDAQ crashes, and a nasty wave of IT job losses ripples through the global economy. Path 2. AI becomes a luxury. To justify these massive investments, tech giants aggressively jack up the price of AI tokens. In this scenario, those everyday $20 a month AI subscriptions and cheap tools we use all the time, they vanish. High-end artificial intelligence just becomes an expensive luxury that only massive corporations can afford.
Honestly, the truth is likely somewhere in the uncomfortable middle. The technology is absolutely real and the revenue is real, but the massive premium we are paying to build it all might not make sense quite yet. We aren't betting on whether AI will change the world. We already know it will, just like fiber optics did. We're just betting on the timeline and the cost. So I'll leave you with this thought. Are we watching the greatest, most devastating bubble of our generation? Or are we simply watching the messy, incredibly expensive foundation being laid for a massive new era? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember, always keep questioning the data.